My dad disappeared for a decade. Now he expects me to call him Grandpa in front of my kids. When I was 12, my dad left for what he called a work trip. Said he'd be back in 2 weeks. That was 11 years ago. I remember that morning perfectly. He was making coffee in the kitchen, humming some old Beatles song. Mom was getting ready for her shift at the hospital. Everything felt normal. Dad ruffled my hair and said, "Take care of your mother while I'm gone, champ. 2 weeks tops." He left with a single duffel bag and his lucky baseball cap. The same cap he wore to all my Little League games. The one with the faded Yankees logo that Mom always threatened to throw away. The first week, Mom wasn't worried. Dad traveled for construction work sometimes. But when week 2 passed with no calls, no texts, nothing, she started pacing the house at night. I'd hear her on the phone with his foreman, his drinking buddies, anyone who might know something. By month 3, the police got involved. Missing person reports, searches, the whole nightmare. Mom aged 10 years in those first few months. Her hair started going gray. She lost weight, picked up a second job to keep us afloat. I had to grow up fast, learning to do laundry, cook basic meals, help with bills I was too young to understand. The worst part wasn't not knowing where he was, it was the hope. Every time the phone rang, every knock at the door, part of me thought it might be him with some crazy explanation. Car accident, amnesia, witness protection, anything that would mean he didn't choose to leave us. High school was brutal. Father-son events became mother-son events. When other kids complained about their dads being embarrassing or strict, I'd just nod along, pretending I could relate. I became an expert at changing the subject when anyone asked about my family. Mom remarried when I was 16 to a decent guy named Robert who tried his best, but it wasn't the same. He'd offer to teach me to drive, help with college applications, all the dad stuff, but there was always this invisible wall. He knew he was a replacement, and I knew it too. College was my escape. Full scholarship, computer science degree, determination to build something my father could never destroy. I worked internships, side projects, anything to stay busy and avoid thinking about the empty space he left behind. Turns out he didn't abandon us for another woman or gambling debts. He abandoned us because he won the lottery. $23 million. He thought we just won his money, so he disappeared completely. I found out 3 years ago when I hired a private investigator for closure. The PI handed me a manila folder that changed everything. Bank records showed a lottery ticket purchased the day before he left. Photos from a Costa Rican newspaper showing him accepting a giant check, grinning like he'd won the Super Bowl instead of destroying his family. Dad had been living in Costa Rica, bought a mansion with infinity pools and marble floors, married some local woman named Isabella who was half his age and spoke broken English, had the audacity to post beach photos on Facebook, him in Hawaiian shirts, cocktails in hand, living his best life while I was eating ramen for dinner in college. The Facebook posts broke me. Happy birthday messages from people who had no idea he had a son. Photos of him ziplining, deep-sea fishing, playing golf at exclusive resorts. In one photo, he was wearing that same Yankees cap, faded and weathered, but still recognizable. It felt like a slap in the face. I showed Mom the photos. She stared at them for 10 minutes without saying a word, then closed the laptop and never mentioned him again. But I could see it broke something in her that had finally started healing. Last month, he shows up unannounced. His new wife left him, took half his money. The rest got wiped out in bad investments. Now he's broke and needs family. But surprise, I'm not broke anymore. I built a successful tech company, make more in a month than he ever won. My kids go to private school. We live in the house he could never afford. When he met my 6-year-old son, he immediately goes, "Hi, buddy, I'm your grandpa. Grandpa's had some adventures, but now I'm here to spoil you." My son looks confused, then looks at me. "Dad, I thought Grandpa died before I was born." I smiled and said, "You're right, son. He did." The look on his face was worth 11 years of wondering.